Alright, welcome everyone to this instructional video, how to import the individual core assessments into your individual D2L shells. And this does work a bit differently than it did for a long time with our English 1301 pre and post tests, which is why I wanted to make this instructional video, so we make it really quite a bit easier on everyone to import these materials. So, as you can see, we're in a D2L shell here. This just happens to be one I'm using for the summer 14 second 6 weeks, so that course hasn't started yet, so I can kind of fool around in here a little bit without it upsetting what students see. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this edit course link, and I'm going to click that, and I'm looking for import, export, copy components. So you can see that's right here. Now I'm set for category. If you had it set for name, well, you'd have to look for it elsewhere. It would be over here, but I think everybody's page would default to category. So I'm going to click this import, export, copy components link, and the first thing I want to do, what I'm attempting to do now, is import the core assessments themselves, the tests, the quizzes, whatever we want to call them. They live under quizzes in our D2L shell, so sometimes I might call them quizzes. So the first thing we have to do is search for offering right here. So I'll click that, and I'm going to type in EDCCO, English Department Core Curriculum Objectives is what that stands for. And if I click this little search button, the only thing that comes up is our department shell for the core curriculum objectives. So I'm going to click that little radio button and fill it in, and I'm going to click Add Selected. And what we can see is, yeah, it was added. Under Course to Copy, we have that course that's been added there. Now, I do not want to copy all components because there's much material in that shell. So I'm going to select components to copy. And here's what I want. I want just the quizzes. So, well, we don't need that little message, do we? So, how about we just choose that and it won't come back. Sorry about that. Okay, we want the quizzes. So, I'm going to check the box for quizzes, and there's 5 items. So, we're not going to want all 5. So, instead of doing copy all items, I'm going to change this to select individual items to copy by clicking that radio button. And now I'm just going to click Continue. Alright, now we have this little plus sign for quizzes without category. I'm going to click that plus sign to expand it, and what we can see is that there are all 5 core assessments here. One for communication, one for critical thinking, and so on. And for any given course that we're teaching, we're only going to be using 4, not 5, 4 of these particular assessments. And so if you're not sure which 4 out of the 5 go with the particular course you're teaching, then you could just look at our departmental syllabi and it'll tell you which 4. For our purposes right now, I'm just going to select all 5, and so we'll know that you would be selecting the 4 you need only. And I'll click Continue. And now it's telling us it's going to import those, so yes, I'm going to click Finish, and that should be a very quick process to copy it over, and yes, it is. So we're done. I'm going to go to this View Content, and let's look under Quizzes. We'll go to Quizzes on the top menu bar here. And as you can see, they're all there under Quizzes. So now what we want to do, let's click this little downward arrow. I'm going to be working with the communication one. I'm going to click the little downward arrow, and I'm going to edit. And I want to go to the Restrictions tab. So I'll click Restrictions. And the reason I'm showing this is we want to make sure that we have it set as active, not inactive, right? We want it set as active. And we're going to add start dates and end dates so we can create the window of time during which our students are going to take these quizzes. So that's one thing you would have to do. I'm going to go back over here now to the little downward arrow, and I'm going to click Preview, and I'm going to show you how, well, this is going to sound strange, how this is not going to work properly, because we need to do one more thing. So let's preview it. I'll start the quiz, Click OK here, and you'll see as it comes up, watch the player box right here disappear. Yeah, it's supposed to do that because things aren't quite set up properly. There should be an image that we're seeing, and we're not seeing an image on, let's see, one of these is, the following passage, the following image, I'm sorry, is of President Obama. Well, there's no image of President Obama here. As I said, it's not working properly yet, so I'm exiting this preview. And we're going to go and do the one more step that we have to do. So what we need to do is go to the core curriculum objectives shell. So we're going to come out of our shell that we just put our assessments into, and we're going to go over to the core curriculum objectives shell, and we're going to click on Content on the gray menu bar. And then we're going to come over to Related Tools and choose Manage Files. All right. Look at all these files. JPG, we call those JPEG files. There are some MP3s. JPEG files are images, photos, right? And MP3 files are sound files. So let's remember, we just looked at that quiz for communications that won't work. Some of our questions are testing students on their oral communication skills, oral as in hearing, so we have those sound files, and others are testing them on visual communication, so we have those images. And we have to get those sound files and those images into your D2L shell, otherwise they don't load properly. So all we really have to do is click this first box right up here, and look, they all got check marks. And now we're going to hover over this. It says copy. It looks like two little pieces of paper. Click it, and look what happened. Paste 54. Now that we've got that, let's go back to the shell we were just working in. Your shell that you just imported all of those 5 assessments into. We'll go back over there. We're going to click on Content. We're going to click on Related Tools, and choose Manage Files. And look, Paste 54 is still there. It's ready to paste all of those files for us. Now I have to draw your attention to the left-hand side of the screen here. All of this business, CSS, Design, EH, Images, all those folders there, you're not going to have those in your shell. These are folders I use for the way I render my course. Chances are all any of you are going to have is this one folder right here. If for some reason you have created other folders, make sure you've clicked this one, and that's the one that's highlighted, okay? Now that you're in that folder, just click Paste 54. And we're going to go ahead. Well, I have one file that was in there already. It wants to know, is it okay to overwrite that one? Sure, I'm going to let it know it's okay. You won't get that message, but we're going to wait. And all 54 of those, wow, they imported rather quickly, didn't they? And now we can see there's JPEGs and MP3s in here. So now I'm going to go back to quizzes. We're almost done here. I want to preview one more time this communications assessment, and so we'll start the quiz, and what should happen is that that audio player box that disappeared, well, it better not disappear this time. Let's see what happens. And no, it's not going to disappear. There it is. So students can play it, and I don't have it set where we can hear it right now. Notice next to it there's a transcript of the exact audio that's being spoken here. This is for ADA compliance. And here's another one like that. We should see an image as we go further down here. And there it is. Question 5 is the question with the image. And notice if I hover over it, there's a description of the image that comes across. And that's for ADA compliance too. So these all had to be HTML coded where all of that would come up. And that's it. So let's say this is my 1301 course. Well, the next time I teach 1301, I can import all of this over and it'll all be there. You won't have to go through these steps. So it's just the first time you teach 1301 or 1302 or whatever the course is, to get all of this set up. And then when we copy our D2L shells from semester to semester, you really shouldn't have to do this again. So please remember that if any part of this process you have some trouble with, please feel free to contact me, and I'd be very happy to help you. And I hope everybody finds this instructional video helpful. Thank you.